Ever feel like you're working hard, money's coming in, but you look at your bank account and it's like, wait, where did it all go? Kind of stuck in that paycheck to paycheck cycle.
Yeah, feeling stuck despite all the effort, it's surprisingly common. And honestly, a lot of times it comes down to some pretty basic money habits that we just don't realize are holding us back.
And that's exactly why we're diving into this today. We've got a really interesting set of ideas from 10 common money mistakes that keep you poor. But we don't just want to list them off, right? We want to really break down why these things trip us up and, more importantly, what you can actually do to avoid them. Get yourself off that hamster wheel and build a better financial future.
Exactly. This isn't about judging anyone's choices. It's more like shining a light on those patterns that can kind of sneak up on us and, without us even realizing, keep us from getting where we want to be financially. So we're going to give you the knowledge to make different choices, build a solid foundation, step by step.
All right, let's jump right in. Mistake number one. This one seems obvious, but it's a biggie. Living beyond your means.
Right. You hear it all the time. Don't spend more than you earn. Sounds simple enough, but you'd be amazed how easily this becomes the norm. The stuff we were looking at, it pointed to things like buying stuff just to impress others, keeping up with the Joneses, or maybe relying on credit cards to live a lifestyle that your income just doesn't actually support.
It's like constantly juggling, trying to maintain an image that doesn't match reality. There was this one idea that really resonated with me. Wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you keep. That kind of flips the script, doesn't it?
It totally does. Suddenly, it's not about external validation anymore. It's about genuine financial health. Every time you buy something you don't actually need, it's kind of like borrowing from your future self. You're sacrificing potential opportunities for that quick hit of satisfaction. If you're always spending more than you make, you're digging yourself deeper into a hole every single month, and it makes it so much harder to ever get ahead.
Okay, mistake number two. A lot of people seem to resist this one. Maybe it feels boring or restrictive, but it's so important. Not having a budget?
It's funny, right? People see budgeting as this punishment or something. But the stuff we look at, it totally reframed it. It's not about restricting yourself. It's about gaining control, having a clear understanding of your finances.
Absolutely. It's not about saying no to every single thing, but about making conscious choices. Without a budget, it's like your money just disappears. End of the month, you're like, wait, where did it all go?
Exactly. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Even a super basic monthly budget can be a game changer. You see it all laid out, what's coming in, what's going out. It empowers you to make informed decisions, cut back where you need to, and eventually move from just surviving to actually saving and working towards bigger financial goals.
And speaking of knowing where your money's going, what happens when life throws a curveball? Mistake number three, not having an emergency fund.
This is your safety net, right?
Mhm.
Life happens, unexpected expenses pop up. The stuff we were looking at mentioned things like, oh, your car breaks down, or suddenly you're dealing with a job loss. These things happen.
And without that cushion, even a small unexpected cost can become a huge problem. You might end up relying on high-interest debt just to cover it.
That's the danger zone. An emergency fund acts as a buffer, protects you from those unexpected events, completely derailing your progress.
Yeah.
The guidance we saw suggested shooting for 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses. Now, I know that might sound like a lot, but even if you start smaller, like aiming for $1,000, that can give you some peace of mind and prevent those little emergencies from turning into financial disasters.
Okay, number four feels especially relevant these days with how much the job market is changing, relying on only one income stream.
Yeah, the days of a single job guaranteeing financial security. That idea feels less and less reliable. Right. The sources we looked at really hammered home the importance of having multiple income streams.
Like side hustles, freelance work, maybe even some passive income. It's that classic, don't put all your eggs in one basket advice. If one source dries up, you've got others to fall back on.
You got it. Multiple income streams, they not only protect you financially, but also give you more freedom and flexibility. If you were to lose your main job, the impact wouldn't be nearly as devastating. You've got options.
Mistake number five. This is crucial for building wealth over time. Not investing.
This is where your money really starts working for you, not just sitting there. One of the things that stood out from what we were reading was the idea that if you keep all your money in a regular savings account, it's actually losing value over time because of inflation. Prices go up, so your money buys less.
Yeah, so even though a savings account feels safe, your money's not really growing. It's actually shrinking in terms of what it can buy. Investing is how you outpace inflation and actually build wealth.
Exactly. The sources we looked at mentioned things like index funds and ETFs as good starting points. They're like baskets of different investments, which help spread out your risk so you don't have to pick individual stocks. They're usually a pretty affordable way to get started. The whole idea is to put your money into things that have the potential to grow over time, build wealth for your future.
Number 6, I think we've all been there. Impulse spending.
Oh, yeah. The siren call of treat yourself. It's so easy to fall into. The stuff we were looking at described it perfectly. Those sudden online shopping sprees, the sales that suck you in, that I deserve this mentality, it can really derail your best intentions.
Those little purchases, they seem harmless in the moment, but they add up so fast. It's like a slow leak that eventually drains the whole tank. I've totally been there, almost buying something online. And then later I'm like, wait, why did I even want that?
Oh, I've been there too. It's like our brains are wired for that instant gratification. But there was a really good tip from the material we looked at, the 24-hour rule. When you're tempted to buy something you don't absolutely need, just wait a day. You'll be surprised how often that urge fades and you realize you didn't need it after all. Simple pause, big difference.
Mistake number 7 is all about taking charge of your financial journey, ignoring financial education.
It's kind of crazy how little formal education most of us get about something as important as managing our money, right? Like, this is a life skill.
Totally. We learn all this stuff in school, but then we're thrown out into the world without the tools to handle our personal finances. But the good news is there's so much information out there now.
Absolutely. Podcasts like this one, YouTube, books, online courses, there's no shortage of resources. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. Even a little bit of learning can make a huge difference.
Number 8 can be a real drag on your finances. High interest debt.
Especially those credit cards with those crazy interest rates. It's like you're fighting a losing battle. You're paying so much in interest, but earning next to nothing on your savings.
You're constantly running uphill, and the hill keeps getting steeper. That interest just eats away at your money, makes it so much harder to make any progress.
The sources we looked at really emphasize tackling high-interest debt as quickly as you can. Make it a priority, get it off your back. Think of it this way. Every dollar you pay towards that debt is a dollar that's no longer being wasted on interest. And that money can then go towards saving or investing.
Mistake number 9 is all about the difference between appearance and reality, trying to look rich instead of actually being wealthy.
Yeah, there's this temptation to project an image of success. The fancy car, designer clothes, the whole 9 yards. But the thing is, those things can actually prevent you from building real wealth.
You might look successful on the outside, but your bank account tells a different story. It's like putting on a show while your finances crumble behind the scenes.
And what's interesting is, a lot of times, the people who are genuinely wealthy, they're not as flashy, they don't need to prove anything. It's the people who are struggling who feel the need to put on that front.
And finally, mistake number 10, this is all about having a clear vision for your future, not setting financial goals.
It's like if you don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to get there?
Right.
You need that destination in mind.
Exactly. Whether it's saving for a down payment, planning for retirement, or getting out of debt, you got to have specific goals. It gives you something to work towards, keeps you motivated.
And the sources we looked at had some really practical advice on that. Write those goals down, break them down into smaller steps, track your progress, hold yourself accountable. Those goals are your roadmap to financial success.
So there you have it. 10 common money mistakes that can keep you from reaching your financial goals. But the encouraging thing is, these aren't impossible to overcome.
Not at all. You have the power to change these patterns. It starts with awareness, recognizing what you might be doing, and then consciously making different choices. Consistency is key.
One of the key takeaways from all of this is that financial freedom, it's not some far-off dream. It's a series of choices that you can start making right now.
And that brings us to a question for you listening. As we've been talking about these mistakes, which one or two really resonated with you? What's one small thing you can do today to start shifting that pattern? It might seem like a tiny step, but it could be the start of some major positive change in your financial life.